if you can see me and hear me. So today we're talking about why you need to quarantine drama and become the richest and happiest person in your family, friends, like truly the top 10, 5, 1% in the world. This is something that's definitely attainable, especially as women. This is the time for us to shine. This is the time that we can really truly do this in our lives. And before we actually jump in, I want to say a couple things. One, if you want access to the chat, then join the Level Up Queens community. There's also exclusive content in there that's not on the regular YouTube channel. And also, I will be doing most of my live streams in the members only content. Only once in a while, I'll be doing them live here. So if you want to make sure you're not missing any of my lives, make sure you sign up for that. The link is in the description box. I'll also throw it in the chat. The other thing I want to do is before we even jump in, I want to do a little meditation because my previous appointment ran late and I was like running around and I'm like, I need to calm and ground my energy down before we get into this really delicious and juicy content. So let's go ahead and get comfortable wherever we're seated. And even if you can't close your eyes, you can just notice that there's roots growing from underneath your feet and taking ground wherever you're standing. You don't even have to be standing, you could be sitting. I always just have some kind of a practice that just instantly calms my energy down. What you want to do is you want to bring all of your energy down towards the ground so you're truly embodied in it. And then you want to feel the inside of your souls. Imagine that your energy is actually right now in the inside of your souls. You may notice that the energy is waking up over there. You may sense some sensations, tingling. Also notice the energy inside of your womb space right now. Just calming yourself down, dropping in, becoming aware of the insides. And then notice the energy in the palm of your hands. How does that feel? Things are really starting to wake up now, huh? We're back inside our bodies. And then notice the energy inside your heart. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And now we're all grounded and relaxed. Hello, welcome in. So one thing that I have been really just becoming more and more aware of is, I mean, this thing I knew, the second bit I'm becoming more aware of, but the first bit I want to share in today's training is that since I was very young, like a teenager, I've always been very, very attracted towards people that have a very strong work ethic. And when I say work ethic, I don't mean like they're working hard just to work hard. When I say work ethic, I'm not talking about people that make everything work like hard work. I'm talking about people that do everything with love, that add grace to everything that they do, whether they're waiting tables or, in surgery or building a rocket or teaching a class. It's always from a place of true embodiment and from a place of play. That truly to me is work ethic. And that's something that I've always been attracted to, always been cultivating in men and women. I just love this quality. I really admire it. And yeah, just really admire and respect people that have this quality. Well, it's so interesting. We keep like, I feel like it's the universe. Like it's like showing me something. There's a message in there for us where I keep coming in contact with people that don't have that. You know what I mean? Like it's just very obvious that they don't have it. Um, they they just they just don't have it. And the question that was arising in my mind from seeing it all around, one was, God, why do you keep showing me this? And the second question that started coming up from me asking God, why do you keep showing me this, was, could it be that some people haven't learned this? Could it be that some people didn't have anyone to model great work ethics? Like, I know I learned that from my mom, and she definitely had it. I really admired it in her. And it's something that I naturally have. I've seen it with certain people in my family, with others, they don't have it. In friends and family, some people have it, some don't have it. And right now, the universe keeps placing in my field people that definitely do not have it. And I decided to talk about this today because that doubt in my mind now of like, what if people just never learned it? And maybe I have the opportunity to teach someone by doing this training. And so that's what I'm talking about today. When you don't have it, one of the things that I notice with people that definitely do not have a good work ethic is that they blame the outside world. There's this feeling of, well, I would if I could. But the truth is, you can. Like this is something you can definitely decide, and this is something you can do. So let's start by defining what I mean when I say a great work ethic, and then we'll talk about why quarantining drama is so important, and then I'll end with a Q&A or reading back comments that you guys have here, okay? Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know who needs to hear this, who manifested this training. So to me, as I said in the beginning, a work ethic is someone that no job is too small, in the sense that whatever they have to do, they will do. And they are able to show up doing it, putting aside their emotions and putting aside their whining and complaining. So I've had many jobs in my life that definitely were not my favorite jobs. They weren't things that I was placed on this planet to do. They weren't things that made me a lot of money. But at the time, that's what the value the marketplace was placing on the skill sets that I had. And that's what I was going to get paid. And that was the job that I had to do. And I'm very, very proud to say, and I think my mom definitely gets credit for this, is that I did it as if it was the best job on the planet. I did it with a smile on my face, even if I wasn't feeling well, even if I didn't want to be there. I always had that. I think it's like that immigrant mindset as well, even though I'm noticing a lot of immigrants don't always have this these days either. But it was the thing of like, well, here I am. And this might not be ideal, but this is what I have right now. And I'm grateful that I have it. And I'm going to do it as if it's like God's masterpiece, as if it's the best thing on the planet. And because of that, what I didn't know that that was going to be the result, but what I noticed is that every single corporate job that I've ever had, and even in my even any business, I've always gotten promoted. I've always made more and more money. I've always been highly praised and respected for the work that I'm doing, even if it was a receptionist job, even if it was like a retail job. I did it with so much love, and that, again, that work ethic, right? That's what I mean when I talk about work ethic. People willing to show up and do their part and put they're all into it. they're not waiting for the right opportunity to put their all into it, because there is no such thing. If you don't know how to put your all into something now, you're not going to know how to do it when the right opportunity shows up, because you're just not that kind of person. You've never worked those kind of muscles. That is not a part of your identity. And it's not something that you're just going to suddenly turn on, because that's not how it works. I really truly believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. And when you have a level of integrity and excellence in whatever you do, it carries over into other aspects of your life. So, for example, when I had odd jobs like my first retail job or the receptionist job, and I did it with everything I had, I got promoted very, very quickly. Then, when I was 21 and a half, I started my real estate career with the help with my mom. I put my all into it. When I was at Northwestern University, I put my all into it. When I became a mother, like, not maybe not so much when I was a single mom, I won't say I put my all into that, but when I had the opportunity to become a stay-at-home mom, I put my all into that and into running my household. And then so my point is that this work ethic becomes an embodiment that you're able to put into every area of your life, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you treat your body, the way that interact with anything that is presented to you. So that's what I mean by work ethic. And someone could be the nicest person on the planet, super sweet, whatever. If they have a bad work ethic, it's hard for me to trust them in many aspects of their life. I might not know them. Maybe they do some other things well, but the truth is that we generally have a harder time trusting people like that, because there's something about their embodiment that's sloppy. There's something about them not being able to put aside their emotions and not have that level of emotional control to have a good work ethic, right? So this is something that I just really, really, in case you can't tell, admire in people, and something I strive to be better and better and better at as I continue on my journey, and something that I really want to instill in my children as well. So that's what I mean by amazing work ethic. So why did I title this quarantine drama? What I've noticed is that people don't really have a great work ethic, and they're gonna fail at pretty much anything that they do. They often blame outside circumstances, and they say, well, see, like, look, there's this drama, and she said this to me, and I would have been successful, but he did this to me, and that person's out to get me, and my mom hates me, and my boyfriend is toxic, and this person's that. There's always something going on in their outside environment, which they blame for them not being successful or not being able to get ahead in whatever they're doing. And the truth is that they're just using those things as an excuse, but because they really don't have the work ethic to carry anything through. And when you have a very strong work ethic, everyone else thinks it's just easier for you. I made a video about this like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe even longer, 8 years ago or something like that, where in my entire life, every single like person that's interacted with me, whether it's cousins or whoever, has mirrored back to me, oh, it's just easier. It's just, everything's just easier for you. Yeah, like even though at the back end, I could be going through like the most miserable stage of my life, and everyone in my life has this merit for you. Oh, you just have it easy. It's just easier for you. Because that's the sign of someone with a great work ethic, is that they do make everything look easy. Because they show up, they put their emotions aside, and they do the thing that is required of them with so much love and so much passion and so much dedication that, of course, all the rest of the lazy ass world will think that you're just special. You're superhuman, and everything is just easy for you. You just have everything handed to you. And that's just another form of the excuse that they're making to be lazy, to not make anything of their life, right? To not amount to anything, to not do anything great, to remain in, slightly below mediocre is where most people like to hang out, right? Like average would be an upgrade for them. So what you need, like step number one in starting to cultivate a really great work ethic, is you're going to have to learn to quarantine drama. And what that means, let me see what you guys are saying. Hi, hello everyone. Okay. So quarantining drama, and I talked about that in my Lady Ball's book. I talked about starving out drama. So quarantining drama is just, it's just another word for starving out drama. So no matter what shows up in your field, your mom says something, that guy said something, he broke up with you, that person did this thing, you keep on code. The standards that you have decided for yourself, the codes is the personal values that you have for you. Okay? You continue on that path, come hell or high water. That is the number one thing that you're going to have to learn to master. You have to get yourself to a point where it doesn't matter who's saying what, who's doing what. The entire world could be falling apart, the world could be on fire, but you have decided that these are the things that you're doing, and you are doing those things, even if they are the last things that you do on this planet. That's what I mean. So I see this in a lot. I've, like I said, I've been noticing this a lot more. For some reason, God he wanted me to really teach this training, because I've been noticing it. It's like, oh, I was gonna do this, but then this thing happened, or this thing. Like all of those things show up somewhere around me. I just don't give a damn, because I've already decided the kind of lifestyle that I get to have, the kind of lifestyle that my children get to have, and the kind of lifestyle that my grandchildren get to have, and the kind of lifestyle that my great great grandchildren get to have. I've already decided for 7 generations ahead and 7 generations back. So that decision is so strong, and it's so rooted in repetition and showing up in integrity and doing all the things that I have to do to make those things happen, that I don't hear the other outside noise, because none of those things are louder than the thing that I've already decided that my descendants get to have and I get to have on this planet. I've already decided what gets to be my legacy, and there is no drama big enough or high enough on this planet that is going to take me off course. Nothing. Nothing. So that's what I mean when I say you're going to have to quarantine drama. Because people that have no plans for themselves, they have no goals, they're not going to amount to much. They're just stirring up noise to deter you from your plans and your goals. So you're going to have to be even more stable and even more decision based and even more on point and on code if you're actually going to be able to make something happen in our very noisy and distracted world. That's just the level of integrity that you're going to have to have. That is one of the things of many that I'm teaching in my baby course, which you guys know I'm currently enrolling for. And I'm so super excited about this, because this is like the next level stuff that we've all been waiting for. I'm going to throw that in the chat. It's also in the description. And let me see what you guys are saying. Because some of you guys are neither here nor there. You think you have plans, and you think you have goals, and you think you have priorities until, you have them when it's on a good day. Everything's fine, the stars are aligned, the weather is nice, no one has said any shit to you yet, you've got goals. The minute someone looks at you the wrong way or says something wrong, everything goes out the window, and you're triggered AF, and now you're not on code anymore. What will it take for you to be so on code that there's nothing around you that can deter you? My mom used to say something. This was in her nursing days before she got into real estate. She used to say that her jobs were just really hard. She used to work very long shifts. She used to do double shifts sometimes. She would sleep like a couple hours in between. Really, really tough life. And she used to say, Mina, you can only do nursing the way that I do it if you really love your children. You can't do it if you don't love your children. And that stuck with me. The level of code that I have, the level of integrity that I have in the way that I show up, it's because I love my descendants. 7 generations forward, the ones that haven't even been birthed yet, I love them more than any noise that can show up in my life right now. Are you that dedicated that the decisions that you make right now, you're willing to project out 6, 7, even 2 or 3 generations forward and think, whoa, it's this, like, I can't afford to not do this right now. I can't afford to let this person distract me. I can't afford to let that idiot derail me from my plans because they will try. Trust me. If you let them, they can read it in your field. They will try. They will try. I used to be that person that people used to try that kind of stuff with and sometimes even succeed with. No one tries anymore because they know it's not going to work. Default said none of those things are louder than the legacy I'd like to leave. Exactly. That needs to be like a t-shirt, a poster, a book, a mug, something. Something. But the thing is, most people, can't even project out to tomorrow. Forget about their children and their grandchildren or their great grandchildren. They're just so stuck in putting out the little imaginary fires that the world is throwing up in their fields right now. You not only activate, but you deliver the messages in such a grounded way. Thank you for helping me stay grounded during this process. Sending you infinite love in all directions of time and space. Thank you, Anne. I appreciate that. I love that. I stopped telling my husband about my work drama. Now my job is so drama free. Everyone gets along. Oh my God, I love this. You quarantined that bitch. You did. When you show up like this with a smile and no excuses is infectious to others. You start bringing joy everywhere you go. Exactly. And if you don't have your business yet, if you're working for someone else, you're going to be moving up that rank really quickly because businesses know that kind of talent when they see it. And if you have your own business, you're going to be attracting more clients than you know what to do with. You're going to be booked and busy. You're gonna have to turn people away. This is getting like more and more rare. You know who I see having this more and more lately? Women. Women. As much as I love both men and women, I have sons and a daughter. I'm telling you that I've been thinking a lot about this, and I was actually having a conversation about this with my husband the other day. I was like, you know what it is? Men have actually never worked that hard. They've always worked very little, but played it up to seem like more. And now that women have come into the workplace and we've always had to work really hard and like we've had to work continuously, we work long hours and because we couldn't take breaks with kids, right? Because of that, it's just becoming more clear. Like even at work, I remember when I was in my corporate jobs, I noticed how much time men would waste by the water cooler, smoking, talking, right, socializing, while women were doing all the work. And I think if you look at our evolutionary history, men rested a lot and then they worked hard for smaller periods of time, smaller chunks. Their work was more physically taxing in those smaller periods, but when they were not doing that, they conserved energy. And now that there are more and more and more women out in the workplace and more women out in business, it's just becoming more and more clear how much harder women are willing to work. And this is something we've always had to do at home. We're just now taking it out into the marketplace. And so that's why I made that video that women are the new 4-minute mile, and we will continue to be so. And that gap between men and women will only keep getting bigger because evolutionarily speaking, men have a disadvantage when it comes to competing with women. They have a disadvantage. I don't think anyone's ever talked about this before, but this needs to be said because we didn't necessarily do physically taxing labor all the time, but we had continuous level work, whether we were gathering or helping raise our tribe's children or being pregnant and raising our own kids and feeding. Like there was always something going on in our world that we were responsible for. That's why women can multitask and men can't. It's not an evolutionary mechanism. They can learn to do so, but it doesn't come naturally. Because of that, Irfan's friend brought this up a while ago too. He works with Irfan, and he was saying this was at a party. We were all sitting at a table, and he came, and he was sitting at the women's table for a few minutes, and he was like, he's like, all of you ladies over here, listen up. If your husbands come home and say that they're tired, they're lying. Because he works with them. And he goes, All of these guys, they work for like an hour or two a day and then they just chill. They are lying to you if they tell you that they're tired. And that reminded me of the evolutionary thing. Men would rest for days. And then once in a while, they would go hunting. And yes, they worked very hard when they were hunting. They were risking their life, but it was for a lot shorter period of time than working continuously. That's why they conserve energy so much. So, my thing for you is you already, as a woman, have it built in to work in a way that is on code. We never had rights like this the way that we have now, but we have the ability, we've already proven to like out educate the system. We have the ability to outwork, out earn. Women are buying more homes now. Single women are buying more homes than single men. More women are graduate, right? We already have this. The biggest loser as a woman will be a woman that lets a man distract her. That is going to be the biggest loss. Because not only is he not amounting to something himself, he's now distracting you. You have to be able to quarantine that drama, unless he's adding something to your life or he's just distracting you. And he is now distracting you from building legacy for your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren. And that to me is not worth it because you have the right mechanisms to do this right. Let me see what you guys are saying. Women were the first computer scientists for the longest. Women did software programming when men did hardware physical parts. Oh my God, I love the way you put that. So true. I used to tell my male coworkers that talk of that their wives do that. I wish I had a wife. Some people get so awkward in your presence when you don't engage in the drama they bring. They don't know what to do with themselves. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen that with people that they bring it and then they're like, oh, she's not engaging. I'm now awkward. Yep, I've sensed that too. I have definitely sensed that. I have become so focused on my daughter and my future. I stand on the outskirts of petty family drama, focused on dating, growing my income and inner growth. Exactly. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I was actually having this a conversation with a client and she was getting distracted by certain things happening in her field and I was just like I don't know anyone in this world on the planet that's worth poverty over. I'm like, that's essentially what you're bringing on. I'm like, no one in this world is that important that I would curse my descendants with poverty because I was busy dealing with their drama. Like, I can't imagine facing my ancestors or my descendants in the afterlife and saying, well, I would have amounted to something, but like Joe Schmo did this to me, or Sally was talking behind my back. Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like, hell no. They're just not. I also used to be that person that would give my energy away when someone tried to drag me in their drama. Now I just laugh and move on. I have bigger things to focus on. Exactly. I used to be that person too. Never again. It's so interesting how all of those people are not like they fell away from my life because they still have the addiction to that drama. So they still need to get their fix. If I'm not providing it, they still have to go get it somewhere else. That they went and found it somewhere else, and I'm so happy for them. Thank God that there's other people willing to do that for them, not me. I have plans and goals for my children. Mm-mm. Let me see. Oh, I have seen a good question and then I lost it. As women, we feel so guilty when we rest. We naturally work hard, but when our men are very comfortable with taking time to chill, they mostly chill. If you actually even look at like the average workday for a man, like they waste a lot more time than women do. Why do you think there's so much of a market for like male coaches that are all about the hustle culture? They need that. They need that. They waste a lot of time because evolutionarily they spent a lot of time conserving energy. They chill a lot. I can't have that around my field. I That just irks me so much. I can't freaking stand it. Everyone around my life knows like you're gonna have to carry your weight. That's just the legacy that I'm building. I can't stand it. I just can't. That happened to me with an aunt 2 weeks ago. She tried to start an argument with me, but I didn't engage. She was quiet after that. Yeah, it's let them be awkward. Crap, I just realized I am that person that lets my husband distract me with his health issues. Yeah. What's that saying in the Bible? Um, I'm blanking out on it, right? But oh my God. I'll see if it comes to me. No. Like, the way I think about it, God has allocated resources to me, right? Like, there's skin being allocated to me, there's energetic resources. I've been allocated guides and angels to my mission. I am not gonna let someone that's not on code themselves, that has no integrity, no work ethic in my life, take me off my path because I have God to answer to. I have my children to answer to. I have my descendants to answer to. Like, hell no. No. Mm-mm. That's how I want you to be. That's what I want you to think. Mina, can we cultivate a strong work ethic without getting stuck in survival mode and always hustling? So I don't know if you watched the beginning of this. By definition, the way that a $1 million babe would do it would be to play. So I have created a business where I play all day, right? Me even buying designer things and like going on expensive vacations gets me paid. Like everything is monetized. When I go get my nails done, when I sleep, when I'm reading a book, everything is monetized. My play is monetized. So that's the divine feminine. So yes, you are not a man, and in fact, what we say about a man, that a man doesn't even do. They don't work all day. They act like it. They really don't. They waste a lot of time. That's just how they are. They conserve energy. They do not put in the number of hours that we do. The only men that actually work really, really hard and continuously are actual like laborers where someone's watching them lift heavy stuff for like 12 hours a day. And even them, then you best assured that when they go home, they rest and their wife is doing everything else. Women, we've never really had that kind of rest. We have to design that now into our lives. Don't let a man distract you. Don't let a woman distract you. Don't let social media distract you. Don't let anything to distract you. This is what I say about everything in my life, even social media. I told my kids this years ago. They thought it was very funny. I was like, when I go on, I'm like, everyone's complaining about social media this and social media toxic and social media. I'm like, there's two reasons for me to go on social media. One reason is to make money. Reason number one to go on social media, make money. Reason number two to go on social media, learn something to do what? You guessed it, make money. Those are the only two reasons that I'm on social media. So anything and everything can use for your destruction, or anything and everything can be used for your betterment to build yourself up. It's on you how you use it. Oh, thank you, Haney. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. And I talked about this actually in the private training that I just did, the financial trainings, right? Are you leveraging cloud energy? I talked about it. We have the options to do that now. The world that we have built right now, the way that it's built, it's just made for women. We are running the show. We're only going to get stronger. We're multitaskers, right? And the world is pretty distracting, and we can work with that. Secondly, we we're more legacy focused. We want our children to do well. There was a wonderful book written by a Bangladeshi author, Muhammad something or another. The banker, was it the poor banker, the rich banker, banker of the poor? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? about this topic, that banks figured out that if you give a poor farmer, a male poor farmer, a loan, he'd spend it, like waste it. And if you gave the same loan to female women in poverty, they would build something from it. So we've also now have scientific research showing, data showing that women are better investors than men are. I'm just telling you that men built this world, but they accidentally built one that the women are actually just thriving in. It's like made for us. It's not made for them anymore. It's made for us. And it's actually like highly distracting for them. The only people that can distract us are people that we think we love. Female friends, family members that we love, a man that we love. So you have to be careful how you dish out the word love. You know who you should love more? You and your children, and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren. And unless someone is actually investing in those people, the ones that you actually should love, then they have no business distracting you. They have no business distracting you. Banker to the Poor. Yes. My mom actually recommended that book to me. I think I still have it somewhere in my library. Banker to the Poor. Micro-lending in the Battle Against World Poverty. Muhammad Yunus. Thank you. Yep, that's the one. Have you read it, babe, or did you just look it up right now? I'm so curious. So they had figured out in that town that the way to end poverty was to loan women the money. This applies so directly to my life right now. What I need you to do is become super focused on your legacy. And then everyone else that fits inside of it and helps that, they're welcome. Everyone that's focused, like, see, here's how I look at it. You could be neutral and you can be in my life, meaning you're not adding anything to my life or my legacy, that's fine, but you're not distracting me either. Sure, hang out, let's do this, okay? If you're adding, great, let's co-collaborate, let's co-create. If you're over here creating drama, and even though I'm not gonna get distracted from it, you're still here, I'm gonna need you to leave, and I'm gonna need you to close the door behind as you leave. Bye. Because there's no point. We can't give you what you need, which is drama. We don't have that over here for you. So why don't you go find it somewhere else? That's how I want you to think. Yes. Looked it up. It's on my list. Yep. I'll be honest with you, I read it about 20 years ago. I think it's when my mom told me about this book. So it's been a while. Maybe I'll get it on Audible and read it again. I had the physical copy back then. But she really resonated with it again because she was a woman with great work ethic. Mina, by quarantine, are you referring to completely enclosing yourself? No, you're not enclosing yourself. You're enclosing drama. Okay, so let me see if I have something I can visually show you because some people are visual learners. Yes, I do. I have this candle. Okay, let's say I'm sitting here and someone shows up and they're running their mouth and they got drama. Okay, I'm not gonna paste it on Facebook, not gonna tell you about it. I'm not gonna run down and tell my hubby, like I'm just gonna keep, no, money's coming in. Okay, good. My kids are good. Okay. Got my nails done. Okay, I'm good. That's what I mean. I mean, they get nothing, nothing, no attention, nothing. Mm-mm. It just goes into this box and it gets quarantined and then it just dies out. Because the minute you call someone and tell them, now you're infected. I talked about this. I think I talked about this in my book. I know I talked about starving out drama, but did I give the example of that drama it's like a parasite. It needs a carrier. I don't remember if I talked about this in my course or my book, but drama requires a carrier. It needs a body to travel, like just like bacteria or like a virus, right? Like it needs something to infect. So most people, like let's say that this is the average person. This person shows up, says drama, and they're like, what? Blah, 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 blah. Call my mom. Mom, blah, 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 blah. Post it on Facebook. Facebook. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, you just wasted like 2 days talking about this damn thing that this one random person said. Like, huh? Right? If I was gonna go post something on my Facebook or tell someone, I would have to invoice that person because my time is super valuable. Like, I'm not just saying that, like, legit, I make a lot of money per minute. So if someone came and was brewing drama, my team would have to invoice them like millions of dollars for me to go tell someone that or to go post it on my socials because that's how much like I would have to charge to give you that kind of attention. So why are you doing that for free? Every time something happens, you have to go tell your mom and text your boyfriend and tell your best friend. Why? Did you invoice them? Did they pay you? Why? Why? And then you say you don't have time to work out and you don't have time to date and you don't have time to start an investment portfolio, but you have time to do that for free? How? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, now once you're out of school, do you have any advice on how to find friends that are helping you level up? Stop trying to find friends and just level up. You don't need friends to level up. When you're leveling up, they'll just show up. Don't waste time trying to do this. This again isn't I don't like it when you guys say this kind of stuff because it's such a waste of time. Could you imagine when I was like trying to make something of myself as a teenager, if I was like waiting on making friends to do it? I would have still been waiting because that's not what I was surrounded by. Like, why do you need friends to level up? I'm so confused. Why? Just do it. Like, your generation has all the information available on social media too. You don't need friends to tell you anything. They're just going to distract you anyways. The best time to make friends is when you're already at the top because then you're making friends at your level. Just don't worry about that. If they come, they come, but most of them will distract you anyways. Just level up. You don't need friends to do that. Yes, focus on your legacy. Drama is definitely a virus. It always requires a carrier. And it travels from carrier to carrier through communication. So if you end the communication right there, then it died. It's like, in circles where everyone gets the flu, but it skips you. What if everyone got the drama flu, but it skipped you? How would that feel? You would be way ahead of everyone else because your life would keep compounding like crazy because you don't get the flu. You don't get the drama flu. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't touch you. It doesn't do anything to you. It just kind of falls away. Yes, you need to get vaccinated against drama. Tell your journal. Tell your journal for a bit and then get to a point where that doesn't even make your journal. I don't even like contaminating my journals, honestly. My journals are where I plan my legacy, where I go that next level. I don't want that nasty shit in my. That's like saying sneeze into your journal. No, 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 no. We're not even. Do it if you need to right now, but I want you to get to a point where that doesn't even make the journal news. Like that's not even news to you. It doesn't even need to be written down. Nope. It's nothing. My husband used to freak out when I used to refuse socializing with certain people, but I was firm. Gradually, he understood the energy sucking and time wasting are falling out of the way. Yes, they will because the thing is drama needs drama to thrive. So if you're not giving it, they go find someone else. LOL, Sandra. I decided that I get to heal from my traumas and wounds so I can better focus on working and start my project and not feeling lethargic anymore. We feel lethargic when God has given us energy before and we didn't use it. When you're lazy, when you waste time, then you go into feeling lethargic because if the universe will stop allocating resources towards you that you don't know how to use. Because when the universe keeps giving you energy and you don't know how to use it, it turns into ADHD, it turns into anxiety, turns into overwhelm. So it's like the universe will cast a protection spell against you. It's like, no, she doesn't want to do anything with her life. She just wastes time. Let's just like not give her any energetic resources. Now, if you were to wake up and be like, you know what, actually, these are my goals, these are my plans, this is what I decide I get to have, this is what I decide my children, my grandchildren get to have, the energy will follow. That's why some people are self-motivated and some people you can't motivate with anything because the universe will not give them any more resources until they make a damn decision. Them and the universe is at a standstill. It's a protection mechanism, really. It's helping you because you haven't made any decisions yet. Why should the universe send you more resources? That's just going to make you overwhelmed. Your humor explains the lesson in my head. I love that. Mina, how to generate more outcome with less time at work and remain feminine? Automate, 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 delegate cloud energy. I talked about that in my financials series. So create SOPs, automate as much as you can, delegate things that you no longer want to be doing, and also leveraging time and energy through cloud energy. That's my advice. Oh, you watched it? Lover, Stalker, Killer? She says, speaking of dramatic shows, I watched Lover, Stalker, Killer yesterday, and I thought I caught what you were talking about in your live the other day. Okay, so Leslie, can you guess why I knew 5 minutes into that show what was happening? By the way, that's based on a true story. Those are the ones I love the most. Because truth is always stranger than fiction, right? As Hitchcock would say. What do you think it was? Okay, seems like a lot more people watched it. I didn't want to spoil it for you guys. Maybe I can reveal it without spoiling too much. Irfan was like, no, I'm like, yep, this is what's really happening. And at the end, he was like, how did you know? And I told him how I knew. Let me see if Leslie can guess it because she thinks that she knows what it was. Okay, so it seems like a lot of people have watched it. Let me see what she says. Otherwise, I'll tell you guys how I knew. To me, it was obvious. I thought it was odd when the lady showed up immediately at the door when he went home with the other woman. Leslie, that was one of them, but that wasn't the main one. That was number three. Oh my God. Yes, you're on point though. Should I tell you guys? Okay. One, when they said that she hadn't called her mom, that she was just sending her small messages. Who doesn't call their mom? Okay. Like, I can't imagine Alina not calling me or me not wanting to like actually hear Alina's voice. That was red flag number one for me. I was like, something fishy is going on. Why won't she call her mom? Second was when they said that no one's seen her, but like people are receiving messages from her, but no one's seen her. That. And then the third one is the one that Leslie said. I told her, Fawn, I had called it. The thing that was really, yeah, I don't want to reveal too much in case someone hasn't said it. Yeah. I think this is my message from God. Hey, oh, I love your name, Glory. Yes. But Leslie, I thought so too. Like, it was really odd. The fact that she was willing to kill her animals, her pets, like, that's batshit cray. Like, level 10. Yeah. So, ladies, if this kind of stuff is what you want to cultivate and this is where you're headed next, I highly recommend my newest course. This is my first course for 2024. It's called Devi, the Ultimate Diva, and I'm so excited to be teaching that. It's gonna be this energy times like 100 in there. That was the worst part, suddenly her own house on fire and threatening her own kids. Yeah, super ma that woman was this is again, I think this is on point to the topic we're talking about. I don't understand women that, like, how could like, I can't imagine loving anyone that much where you do that to yourself and your kids. I don't get it. It's so bizarre. It just so strongly goes against our evolutionary history that it's a cancer, it's an illness. It's so unnatural for a woman to love someone more than her own children and her legacy. It's so unnatural. Yeah. Paula, hopefully we didn't ruin it for you. It's still worth watching. It was so good. Well, yeah, it's not love. I don't think most people in the Western world actually have ever been taught what love is, but they think in their mind that it is. That man just irked me the wrong way as well. I didn't there was something about the way he was dating and everything that was just weird to me. Yeah, just mental illness, I don't know, whatever you wanna call it. I mean, most women are not that crazy, but I see all kinds of women getting obsessed with men, even on social media, you hear it all the time. Maybe not that level, but any level that's gonna ruin your life is crazy. It's crazy. Mina, do you think it will become the norm that women will outlearn or out-earn? Oh, out-earn their husbands? Um, the potential is there. I don't think every woman will be able to because most women will let their husbands distract them. So, yes, the potential is there if you have strong boundaries. I don't let anyone distract me. No one. No one. Because there's gonna always be distractions. Men You know how let me give you an example. Have you ever been in a relationship where you just start gaining weight? Because obviously men are taller, they're bigger, they can take a lot more calories than we can. And we know how much we're supposed to be eating. We know how we're supposed to be moving. But like when we get into a relationship, we start eating like the man. We like start like Netflix and chill or whatever, and we start ballooning up. We start letting go of our self care. Women tend to do that, right? Like uh, men, like I said, they have a really strong mechanism to conserve energy and work like as least as possible. Only like the top 1% within the top 1% of men really have that drive to be working beyond just like the bare minimum. Most will just do the bare minimum and like that's enough for them, unless someone's putting pressure that, hey, we keep raising the bare minimum. So if the average woman, that's why even when you get married to a provider, like you need to like keep your standards high and you need to build something of your own. Because if you get complacent with a little bit, that's the bar he's going to set and then he's going to get comfortable there. That's going to be enough for him. So because of the it's not like I'm saying men are bad, that's just how they're wired. Like, whatever the bare minimum is, that's what they will accept. That's what they will say, "Okay, only have to do that, conserve energy at other places." So, yes, women have the potential. I've already started teaching my daughter this, like, since she was a baby, that do not let female friends, brothers, anyone in the future, do not let anyone distract you because there's gonna be a lot of distractions, but don't let them distract you. I have watched Dubai Bling. Yes. Leela said, "I thought it was obvious too and had to watch until the end to see if I was right." Yeah, I thought it was really obvious. The mom thing was a big one for me. Who doesn't call their mom? Yes. Do not contaminate your journal. And I get it. Use your journal for what you need to do. In the beginning, when I started journaling, my journals had some really a lot of drama in it, a lot of that stuff. And then I just got to a point and I'm like my work, like my energy and my time is precious. Like other people's drama shouldn't even be making my journals. Like, no, I should get paid for that. If your drama is gonna make it to my journal, I need to be compensated for that. Because again, I'm top 1% earner. If I'm writing about you, like, do you know how lawyers and doctors, like, if they're thinking about your case, they earn money, they bill you? Okay, if I'm journaling about you, I need to bill you. I need to get paid for that. So if I'm not getting paid for that, then I'm not journaling about you or your drama. That's how I want you to think. Can you give an example of how to implement the higher standards in marriage? So, I can't give you an example unless I know the example that you're sharing because there could be a million ways. But my example is like, I like, for example, there's nothing anyone can say to me about not showering every day. Like, that's just the standard that I have. I shower every day. Like, I could be dying and I will shower. Like, I will shower. Like, that's just a boundary, right? So, there's nothing that my husband or a friend or anyone can say to me that would have me second guessing whether I was going to shower today. It's just the standard. Same thing with brushing my teeth. It's just the standard. So, there's nothing like even if someone came and said my house is on fire, like I'd say I will call 911 for you while I'm brushing my teeth, right? In the shower. So like that's what I mean. When you have standards, then everyone just like says they just live up to it because they just know when you're Lucy, like for example, if someone comes up and says, well, oh, are you gonna shower? Oh, well, I just wanted you to watch Netflix with me, but I guess we're just gonna go shower. And then if I was like, oh, well, this one time I could skip my shower to watch Netflix with you, now they already know they can get you. Now you might not shower tomorrow. You might skip the next day because now they know that this is negotiable. So you have to define what are non-negotiables in your life. I have certain non-negotiables and I just will not change my mind. My workouts, I'm working out because I just work out. Like there's nothing anyone can say to me other than obviously my doctor was like, do not work out for 4 weeks after the surgery that I had. As soon as I got 4 weeks, I worked out. So there's the, unless like if it's my doctor, yes. But I just have standards of things that I do. And because everyone around me knows that this is just who Shia is, I'm not going to budge on those things. Everything else is negotiable. I'm a fair person. I'm pretty flexible, but the things that are non-negotiables are non-negotiable. So just no one's going to mess with me there. If I had allowed it, it would have just like it would have always been like, oh, you could do this tomorrow. Your business is optional. Right now this is happening and this person's coming over. But I just created a scenario where like, but I have to work because this is just what I do. Like, nope, we can go afterwards. They can come over tomorrow, but this is the day that I work. So you're going to have to maintain your standards with everyone the same way. There's a lot of ways, right? Your partner can distract you from your diet by constantly ordering things that you're not supposed to be eating, right? It could be a million ways, or saying just work out tomorrow. And like, people tell me all the time, oh, I wanted to go do this for myself or this. My husband said he wanted to spend time with me. And I say, was he always dying to spend time with you? Or now that you're doing self-care, he's blocking your self-care by saying, and then it's always like, well, no, he never wanted to spend time with me before. Okay, that's a distraction. Because if he wasn't dying to spend time with you before, but now all of a sudden you're doing stuff for yourself and he's dying to spend time with you, that's a distraction. And what you say then is that right now I'm doing this, but later I will be available if you are. But again, You don't have to be. So you have to hold your standards really high. The thing is that I learned a long time ago that unfortunately, not everyone around me will have my level of standards, and that's okay. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not forcing anyone. They're allowed to have the standards that they have. But because I know that my standards are the highest of like everywhere that I go in my circles, then I'm just gonna have to have a lot of non-negotiables. Otherwise, they will keep bringing me down. It's just because that's the morphogenetic field that I'm in. So I just have to hold that as a non-negotiable. Yep, the same boundaries. I talk about this in here. Because I have the same boundaries for everyone, I don't make exceptions. It just becomes a part of my identity. People say, oh, that's just how Mina is. If I was bending the rules for my mom, but not for my mother-in-law, then people say, oh, she's unfair, right? But no one can call me unfair because I'm the same with everyone. My rules are what my rules are. My personal values are what my personal values are. That's why it's a part of my identity. I do talk about that in Lady Balls. So that's how you need to move. That is just your standards. It's your code. That's how you run the show. Mina, how do you make a man provide when I earn more than him? Downplay it when we have joint accounts. So, how you make a man provide is that he knows that he has no chance of being with you unless he provides. So now, whether it's joint accounts, separate accounts, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who earns more. He has to pay the evolutionary basics. That's in this book, or whatever else you decide. I have them in the evolutionary basics are in my book. So that's just like a law. So, for example, it is a law in Mina Irfan's universe that if anyone is married to me, they have to provide all of my bills, like all of my evolutionary basics. Okay. It doesn't matter if we have joint accounts, his income needs to be able to cover that. If he doesn't want to or he doesn't, I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be upset. We're not going to be married anymore. Simple. Like it's just, you have natural consequences. There's no drama. There would actually be no drama. It would just be like, oh, that was my non negotiable. I guess we're not going to be married anymore. Simple. So I don't do punishments. That takes away too much energy. I don't do anything that's like suffering or drama or takes longer than it needs to. I'm a very efficient person. I just do natural consequences. That is just the natural consequence in my world. I have realized that too, and not everyone will have access, therefore. One day, I decided I didn't want to take public transport anymore, but only always go by car, and it's always been like that since I decided. I'm not going unless it's by car. Anything that you decide with that level of certainty, that will become your new reality. The problem is most people don't know how to decide. They don't do it. They just don't do it. Every single time I make that decision I have that F this shit moment that I'm never going below this. I'm never doing this again. This is never going to become my reality. It never happens again. It never happens again. So that's why I'm so big on deciding. You have to decide. No one in my world gets punished. There's no discipline. It's just natural consequences because I've already made those decisions and everyone knows them. It's just that's just who I am. I don't bend the rules for one person and not the other one. It's very consistent. It's very cohesive. It's based off of my personal values. Does that make sense? That's how you have to roll. Needed this video and those transmissions that you are giving to us, Mina. You're so welcome, Marika. I'm so happy. This is the content in Devi because I feel like it's time. It's time for all of us to go. I'm accepting my standards. I've been talked down before. I've decided I love what I love. Period. 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 No defending. The minute you start defending, you're actually negotiating. Do you realize that? Because in the male brain, in everyone's brain actually, but especially in the male brain, when you're negotiating or I'm sorry, when you're defending, you're negotiating. I don't defend. It just is. I don't even explain. It just is. That's what I've decided. Why? It just is. Mina, how come it seems like sometimes we make the decision, but then we need to make the decision again? Because you really haven't made the decision. There's duplicity in you. If you've actually made a decision, you never have to make that decision again. It's been automated, it's done, it's been normalized. It's just been decided. The people with the highest, like whatever your standards are, you're gonna get those things. Your low standards, you get low things. You get mid standards, you have mid things. You have high standards, you have high things. It's the universe is pretty fair. It gives you exactly what you decide and allow. Dear Mina, I am in my 50s and I attract wealthy men who are able to provide for me, but I feel inferior on what I need to work on. I would say self-worth. Start with the basic babe bundle and use the 6-step process to rewire your beliefs. Thank you, Wormhole. She said, I love your red outfit. Thank you, babe. Yep. Decide and then automate it. It's done. It's not up for negotiation. You're not defending it because if you're defending it, it is up for negotiation. Otherwise, you wouldn't be defending it. Yep, most people are not. They are not. You know who are? Billionaires. Notice that no matter how wealthy or successful billionaires become, their drive never goes away because they're here on this planet to create some shit. They're here to do big things. They're here to become somebody. And they will keep becoming somebody until the day that they take their last breath. Those are us. We are those people. We are just younger than them or haven't gotten to that point yet, but we are those people. So don't stop. Don't stop because God will keep rewarding the people that are that driven. I have wasted way too much time in my life letting people distract me. I'm telling you, don't let anyone distract you. This is the same conversation I have with my kids all the time. I'm like, there is no friend, even no family member, worth it to ruin your life and not do the thing that God designed you to do. And they know this is true because mom doesn't put up with anything from, they see how I am with everyone. I can love someone dearly and still not engage with their drama. I can love someone dearly and still not let them derail me. And because I teach through my embodiment, they have examples of how to do this. It's a lifestyle and identity. Yep. I have decided that whatever resources God has used up in creating me and in putting me in this planet, I'm going to pay God back with interest, with divine interest. I'm going to make it worth God's while. You know, when you say don't defend my boundary, do you mean using nonverbal behaviors to convey the message? Show them how. Meaning you don't defend. So if someone says, but why should I provide for you? You don't say anything. You just say, to be married to me, I need this. That's it. If they can't do that, then we're not married. Do you see how that works? There's no long, blown out conversations. I'm not telling them textbook stuff from evolutionaries. This is what I require. This is what's needed. There's no defending. Another example of this might be like someone says, it comes to you and says, why do you charge $20,000 for this when everyone charges $10,000? My response would be, my price is 10,000. My price is $20,000, and then move on. No defending. Do you see how that works? I don't say, oh, I charge $20,000 because I'm negotiating now. Do you see how that works? I just entered a negotiation without even realizing it. Those are my prices. That is my requirement. That's it. No other words are coming out of my mouth. I've walked away from that conversation. Because the minute you start opening your mouth and conversing, you're actually in a negotiation and don't even know it. Yep. I don't let my boundaries, my worth, my goals be dictated by other people's pockets because that would be really dumb and stupid. Could you imagine? Because there's always going to be people that don't have the money for your services. What does that mean? Should you be free? Should you now What if someone can't even afford free? Should you pay them now because they want to work with you? Like, no, that's ridiculous. I'm not gonna let. Do you know what I mean? No, no. There's always someone that can afford it. So don't open your mouth. Imagine walking into Chanel and trying to negotiate the prices, or imagine walking into Chanel and saying, "Why are your prices so high?" They're gonna be like, "Security, you can see this one out." That's the extent of that conversation. They're not gonna be sending there defending themselves because they don't negotiate with peasants. That's how I want you to roll. Even my mom started saying my daughters no longer even entertain me when I shout out and make them upset. They just say, okay, and move on, game changer. Yep, your generational trauma broken. Done. They would laugh, Amanda said. Yeah, they would be like, excuse me, you're using up oxygen. Can you please go outside? This oxygen is for our real customers. The standard is the standard. The minute you open your mouth to explain yourself, you have entered negotiations. This is how men actually test you as well. They will try to push your limit, and if you start defending it, they know there's room for negotiation. That's why you always lose when you defend yourself. Yeah, you guys are so funny. I was so afraid to push people away with having standards. Turns out the right people love you even more when you have them. Exactly. Also, it doesn't matter to me whether people love me or not. I think that's another level as well. Most people don't know what love is, so that's not something that I'm using as a gauge, if that makes sense, because I don't think most people are healthy enough, at least in our like Western kind of everyday world, to actually love someone without like need entering in. The minute need enters it, it's not love, it's ego. So because most people don't really like, they don't know how to properly pair bond, they don't understand love. I'm not going to gauge my prices, my worth, my looks, my standards by someone else's ability to love me, because I don't know how they were raised. I don't know if their mom, was present in the first 3 years of their life. Like, I'm not going to hinge my entire life on how someone else's mother took care of them or didn't for the first 3 years of their child rearing, right? Like, that's on them. Yes, we don't haggle this oxygen. Yes. Mina, how do you decide what your non-negotiable standards are? The things that are important to me are my non-negotiables. Every year they get stronger and stronger because every year I spend another year with myself, right? So the longer you spend yourself, the more you'll know. But even now, pay attention. Most people are so distracted worrying about how someone else will love you. Will he love me? Will she love me? Will they like me? That you don't even have time to say, what do I actually like and value in this life? How do you want your life to be? I already wrote the ending of my life a really, really long ago. Spoiler alert, it ends really, really amazing. Like, really amazing. I get everything that I want. I achieve everything that I desire. I respect myself, admire myself. My work is amazing legacy. My children, I get to leave legacy for my children, grandchildren. Like, I already know how it ends. So then when I play it back, I'm like, okay, well then that's all decided. So what do I need to be doing now to be moving towards that? I found that people hear me more the less I speak. So true. The truth. That really is the truth, isn't it? Most people's talking is just phonetic energy. It's like, it's noise. It's just anxious energy. Talking is the cheapest way of releasing energy. So most people are just saying a whole bunch of stuff, but not actually anything of substance. Don't let that waste your time. Yes, your 4 levels ahead exercises help me do that. Yay, that's in the Millionaires. For those of you guys that have it or need it. Love that. 48 laws of power always say less than necessary. Yes, the world will definitely be a better place. Divas always have the highest standards. If you guys need more of this training, you're gonna spend 6 lessons with me in Devi, the ultimate diva. Throwing it in the chat for you guys. I got your pink mug on Amazon, and yesterday, my first day using it, a guy said how beautiful it was with that mug. My pink mug on Amazon. I don't have mugs on Amazon. Are you talking about under my videos? I hope no one's like selling merch in my name. This is another thing we've been. I guess this is another diva status that everyone's trying to like use your name to sell shit. Um, are you talking about the things that show up under my videos? Yeah, those are legit. Anything else, that's not us. That's like the ultimate diva status, I swear. I'm gonna open up the chat for 2 minutes in case anyone has a question about Davy. Um, hopefully I'm not gonna regret it because there's so many basic babe questions. Okay, 2 minutes. No one go into basic babe mode, please. How do I do this? Okay. All right. Questions about Davy or LA Intensive Sacred and Savage happening on April 3rd. Guys, that is coming up. I can't wait. It is coming up. We're doing LA. We're doing Orange County. That link is also here. Oh, I do have an Amazon store. I'm sorry, but I don't have like it's not my merch in Amazon. Like meaning I link other people's stuff. Yes, I do have an Amazon store. Sorry, we've been dealing with people like trying to sell stuff using our name, like with my books and like workbooks and stuff, which is kind of freaking hilarious. I had to hire like a FBI style team to crack down. I thought that's what you were referring to. I'm sorry. Funny. Yes, the new course, Davy, is live lessons. Correct, Sarah. Yes. The first lesson is happening on March 6th, and it's already in the course dashboard. And then I will list the future ones. I manifested this training, Sifat said. We'll be watching on repeat. Thank you. Awesome, Sifat. Happy to hear that. What is the difference with Dream Girl course? Dream Girl is an entry-level confidence course to start feeling amazing in the body that God has given you and also up-level your looks using energetics. Diva is like really top level, like top 1%, like energy embodiment. So I would say that's like high-end divinity stuff when you've already been creating massively and you're ready for the next level. Dream Girl is more like entry level. A lot of young girls bought it. A lot of moms bought it for their daughters as well. By the way, I still use everything in the Dream Girl to this day. I still use it. It still drives my internal confidence. I'm just taking it to newer and newer levels, as we all should be, because we're still breathing and God still wants us to keep growing. Thank you, Regina. That's so sweet. She said, thank you for everything you taught me. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, babe. Yay! Are you coming, Paula? She said, I can't wait to see you in California. Yay! Dream Girl would be a great course for a 19-year-old. So would Basic Babe bundle would be great. Personal Power Activation is great too. Those are great for my younger girls as well. Questions about the Davy course or Sacred and Savage, ladies? I'm seeing a lot of other questions that I'm not planning on answering. Thank you, Shireen. I appreciate you. Yes. Oh, you saw that one, Claudia? Where I think it was called It's Easier for You Mindset. I can't believe I still remember that video from like 8 or 9 years ago. That was old. Um, yeah, my Haney, are you here? If you can throw in the link for Dream Girl, let me see if I can get it real quick. Dream Girl is one of our really popular courses. It's about like internal confidence. These are the strategies that I used when I had discovered long time ago that I didn't see myself from the eyes of God. Like I would look in the mirror and I would have negative kind of things. Like generally I felt good, but then I would be like, oh, I don't like the way this looks. I don't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't want to do that to God's creation. So I started doing those exercises and I started feeling so much more confident until I started literally feeling like I was the most beautiful woman in every room. And that's where a lot of that work comes from. The thing is, it doesn't matter if you are the most beautiful woman in every room. The point is, if you walk into every room and you literally feel like you are the beautiful woman in every room, then that's the most valuable thing, at least to me, because to me, I would rather feel like I am the most beautiful woman in the room than be the most beautiful woman in the room because there's a lot of beautiful women that don't feel beautiful, right? So that's where that course came from. And I didn't even realize that a lot of moms would love it so much that they started buying it for their teenage daughters. So it's gotten a lot of feedback from moms buying it for their daughters, women buying it for their little sisters. I was not expecting that. I'm reading your book right now. You changed my life. Thank you, Poetry Siren. What a beautiful name. What courses should I take before starting Davy course? You have the university bundle. You can take it, and then take. You'll get what you'll get out of it. It's a transmission-based course. So with transmission-based courses, you only receive at the level that you're at. Then when you take other courses, and as your energy grows and your consciousness grows, you'll come back and you'll be able to take more. That's why when you watch a movie twice or read the same book a second time, you get a lot more out of it because you have changed and now you receive like new information from it. So you can still take it as a university bundle because it's included in your bundle, but you'll receive whatever you're ready to receive. Oh, right, Billion Harris. I was one of the subscribers who was clipping videos for personal reminders. You're using one as a short now. It's one of the best reminders to be savage without negotiating standards. Thank you. Thank you. And that has actually really been helping us, Harris. So if you continue doing that, we would really greatly appreciate it actually, because we don't always know what's going to resonate with you the most, the clips like with the audience. So when you started doing that, it made us realize the things that were what you guys needed to hear. And then when we started using them on our socials as shorts and TikTok and Instagram, they're doing really well. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. I do remember your name. I completed the Basic Babe courses and now doing the 21-day struggle, but I still do the 6-step process and container work. Me too. The thing is that at every level, you might have to go back and do those steps. The reason is because we're always overcoming limiting beliefs and we're always having to expand our container. That's life. That's like, because if you're like me, you're always going to want more. You're always going to want to keep growing. You're going to be a student of life until you're 99 and a half, right? So I still go back and still do those processes, still do those affirmations, still do those journal prompts because at every level, there's new things coming up. if I am new to your work and I desire to work on up leveling, where do I begin? I would recommend everyone start with the Basic Babe bundle, even if you don't necessarily resonate as a Basic Babe, because it will give you my core principles and techniques and inner work and meditations that even when you go and move on to other levels, those are like foundational things that you can pull on and use in those times that you need them. Like they will always be a part of your consciousness and in your toolbox. So I would say start with the Basic Babe bundle. And that is always linked in my description box, but I will throw it in the chat for you. I have to run for a meeting in a few minutes, so I'm trying to keep time. You have so many courses, I don't know which one to take. Don't make it a mental decision. You'll be pulled towards the right one when you stop thinking that it's a mental decision. Which one does your heart desire? The heart always knows way more than the brain does. So start there. I manifested this training, so my level where I am this season now. Beautiful. I love it when it's a co-creation. I do truly feel like we call in like what we need to see. And then, because every time I make a training, there's people saying, oh my God, I exactly needed to hear this. People will say, do you have cameras in my brain? Things like that. I do think it's because it's a co-creation. Ina, thank you so much for taking the time to help us grow. You're so welcome, Reina. I'm going to buy one of your courses next. I feel like your boundaries are next level. Thank you, Lover Girl. I had like no boundaries, so I've had to do a lot of inner work on boundaries. I just want to say, for those of you guys that may be new to my world, I was not like this from day one. I was raised by two of the world's biggest people pleasers on the planet, just so you know. I'm sure you read that in my book. Yeah. All right, babes. I will let you guys go. I have a little meeting in shortly, and I want to be able to prepare for that. Thank you so much for hanging out and spending this time with me. I love you guys. I'm feeling more and more like myself, recovering, healing. So I will be live a lot more. I will be doing more live stream in my members only group as well. So that's definitely worth joining. And of course, I will see you in Davie on March 6th and on April 3rd in LA area, Orange County. All right, babes. Bye.